I wiped down the old wooden counter of my corner grocery store, the same one my grandmother had polished every morning since 1952. The bell above the door chimed as Miranda strutted in, designer heels clicking against the worn tile floor. "Still playing shopkeeper, Margaret?" My daughter-in-law's voice dripped with contempt as she surveyed our modest store. "I can't believe James came from this." I continued arranging the fresh produce, carefully selecting the ripest tomatoes for Mrs. Chen, who'd been shopping here for 30 years. "Good morning to you too, Miranda. I've been talking to James about selling this place," she announced, picking up an apple with her manicured nails as if it might bite her. "The property alone is worth millions in development potential." Of course that's what she saw, not the generations of community we'd built, not the families we'd helped feed during hard times, just dollar signs and real estate opportunities. "The store isn't for sale," I said simply, marking down the day's special on our chalkboard. "Don't be ridiculous. This neighborhood is going upscale. We could sell to developers and make a fortune." She paused, examining her reflection in the store window. "Well, James and I would make a fortune. You could have a nice little retirement fund." I had to smile at that. If she only knew. "My grandmother started this store during the Depression," I explained, though I'd told this story before. "She built it from nothing." "Exactly. Nothing. And it's still nothing," Miranda interrupted. "Just a dusty old shop that barely makes ends meet. I've seen the numbers, Margaret. This place is worthless." She hadn't seen the real numbers, of course, just the surface-level books we kept for the local store operation. "I've already spoken to some investors," she continued, pulling out her phone. "They're willing to offer." The bell chimed again. Mr. Rodriguez, our longtime supplier, entered carrying a stack of papers. "Mrs. Margaret, we need your signature on the new international distribution contracts," he said, then froze upon seeing Miranda. "Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize." "International distribution." Miranda's perfectly shaped eyebrows rose. "For this tiny store?" I shot Mr. Rodriguez a warning look. "Just some specialty items," I said smoothly. "Mr. Rodriguez handles our imported goods." Miranda's eyes narrowed. "Since when does this shabby place import anything?" Before I could answer, her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled triumphantly. "The developers are here early. They want to discuss the sale." Two men in expensive suits entered, followed by James, my son, who looked uncomfortable. "Mother," he started. "Miranda thinks." "Mrs. Chen," I called out to my elderly customer who had just walked in, "your usual order is ready. Would you mind if my son carried it to your car?" James, grateful for the escape, hurried to help Mrs. Chen, leaving Miranda with her developers. "Mrs. Margaret," the taller developer said, "we've heard great things about this location. We're prepared to make a very generous offer." Miranda beamed. "You see, Margaret, this is your chance to retire comfortably. Let the professionals handle this prime real estate." Just then, my phone rang, the special line. "Excuse me," I said. "I need to take this." "Now," Miranda hissed. "These men are very busy." I answered anyway, speaking in fluent Mandarin. The developer's eyes widened as I discussed our latest acquisition in Shanghai. "Yes, proceed with the merger," I concluded in English. "Transfer the usual billions." Miranda's mouth fell open. "Billions?" I turned to the developers. "Gentlemen, I assume you're from Apex Development?" They nodded eagerly. "Then you should know that your parent company is one of our subsidiaries. In fact, I checked my watch. As of 2 minutes ago, we just acquired the remaining shares." The color drained from Miranda's face. "What? What are you talking about?" I pulled out a leather portfolio from under the counter. "This worthless store. It's the historical headquarters of Global Market Enterprises. We own 30% of the world's food distribution networks, with holdings in 67 countries." That's impossible," Miranda stammered. "Why?" "Because I run a small grocery store. Because I help local families. Because I don't flaunt my wealth." I smiled at the developers. "Gentlemen, I believe your new directives will be coming through shortly. We're focusing on community preservation, not destruction." They practically ran from the store, leaving Miranda staring at me as if seeing me for the first time. "All this time," she whispered. "All this time," I confirmed, "you've been trying to destroy something you didn't understand. This store isn't worthless, Miranda. It's priceless. It reminds us where we came from, who we serve, and why we do what we do. James returned, looking between us. Mother, I'm sorry. I should have told her. Told me what? Miranda's voice rose hysterically. That my little corner store mother-in-law is actually someone who values more than just money? I finished. Yes, that would have been helpful. The special phone line rang again. Excuse me, I said, I have another merger to oversee. James, would you mind restocking the bread aisle? Mrs. Peterson will be in soon for her weekly order. As I headed to my modest office, I heard Miranda sink into a chair, her designer dress crumpling. All this time, she kept whispering, all this time. The next morning, Miranda arrived at the store dressed differently. Gone were the designer labels and excessive jewelry. She stood awkwardly by the entrance, watching as I helped elderly Mr. Thompson select his groceries. Your grandson's starting college this fall, isn't he? I asked him, adding extra fruit to his bag without charging for it. Yes, thanks to that scholarship program you recommended. Mr. Thompson beamed. You've always looked out for us, Margaret. Miranda shifted uncomfortably as she witnessed this exchange. After Mr. Thompson left, she approached the counter. I have been doing some research, she said, placing her tablet on the counter. Global Market Enterprises ranked the third most powerful corporation worldwide. Major holdings in sustainable agriculture, technological food innovation, and she swallowed hard community development programs. You forgot our educational initiatives, I added, restocking the penny candy jar that local children loved. Would you like to help? These shelves won't stock themselves. To my surprise, she picked up an apron. Her hands trembled slightly as she tied it on. Why didn't you tell me? She asked, following me to the stockroom. All those times I mocked this place. Would it have mattered? I questioned, showing her how to check expiration dates. Would you have seen the value of what we do here, or just the numbers in our accounts? Before she could answer, my special phone rang again. This time, I put it on speaker. Mrs. Margaret, a voice said in British accented English. The Royal Agricultural Society is requesting your presence at next month's Global Summit. They're particularly interested in your innovative approach to combining corporate success with community involvement. Tell them I'll send my usual representative, I replied. I have inventory to manage here. Miranda stared as I ended the call. You're turning down the Royal Society for inventory. This store is where it all started, I explained, leading her to a wall of photos. My grandmother believed that true success isn't just about profit, it's about purpose. Every global decision we make starts with the lesson we learned here. Feed the community, support families, build connections. The bell chimed again. A young mother entered, looking worried. Mrs. Margaret, she said quietly, I lost my job last week. I can't afford. Sarah, I interrupted gently, your usual order is ready. We can adjust the payment schedule until you're back on your feet. Miranda watched this interaction with new eyes. How many families do you help like this? She asked after Sarah left. In this store, about 50 right now. Globally, millions through our various programs. I handed her a stack of files. These are the real numbers you wanted to see. As she read through the documents, her hands started shaking again. These profit margins, the charitable foundations, the educational trusts. All started from this worthless little store, I confirmed. Every empire needs a heart, Miranda. This is ours. James arrived for his shift, stopping short when he saw his wife in an apron. Miranda? Your wife is learning about inventory management, I explained, hiding my smile. I've been so stupid, Miranda blurted out. All this time I assumed. You assumed wealth only looked one way, I finished. Many people do. The afternoon brought a steady stream of customers, each with their own story, each treated with the same care my grandmother had shown decades ago. Miranda watched, slowly understanding that the real value of our empire wasn't in its global holdings, but in its local impact. Those developers, she said suddenly, they're not coming back, are they? No, I confirmed. They'll be receiving new directives about preserving local businesses instead. Because you own their company, she said slowly. You own their company, but still work here every day. This store is my office, I explained. The best decisions about feeding the world come from actually feeding your neighbors. James wrapped an arm around his wife. Now you know why I love working here. It's not just a store, it's a legacy. A legacy I tried to destroy, Miranda whispered. But now you have a chance to understand it, I offered. That's worth more than any real estate deal. The special phone rang again. This time, Miranda noticed something. That ringtone, it's the same as the store's doorbell. Yes, I smiled. To remind everyone at corporate headquarters where we came from. Would you like to learn why we chose that bell? She nodded eagerly, and for the first time since she'd married my son, I saw genuine interest in her eyes. But first, I said, handing her a pricing gun, these cans need labeling. We have a community to feed. As Miranda carefully marked each can, I saw her finally beginning to understand. Sometimes the smallest tasks build the biggest legacies, and true wealth isn't always visible to those blinded by its glitter. 6 months later, the corner store had undergone a subtle transformation, not in its appearance but in its energy. Miranda, once its biggest critic, had become an unexpected champion of our small shop philosophy. The change became apparent during our annual community dinner, an event she would have previously dismissed as quaint. Instead, she was there in a simple dress, helping serve meals to local families. Mrs. Margaret, she called from behind the counter, the Henderson family needs extra groceries this month. Their youngest just started college. Added to their account, I nodded, watching her write it down in the same ledger my grandmother had used. And don't forget, the extra fruits and vegetables, she finished. I already packed them. James beamed with pride, watching his wife chat with elderly customers she once would have ignored. The designer handbags and artificial airs were gone, replaced by genuine warmth and understanding. During a quiet moment, Miranda joined me in the office as I took another call from our Tokyo division. The new community support program you suggested, the executive said, is showing remarkable results. Implementing the corner store model in our Asian markets has increased both profit and customer loyalty. After the call, Miranda smiled. The corner store model, that's what they're calling it now. Yes, I replied. Your idea to expand our local support system globally is working beautifully. She blushed at the praise. I just thought, if it works here. Exactly. Think locally, act globally. The opposite of what most corporations do. The bell chimed, and Mr. Rodriguez entered with his usual stack of papers. This time, Miranda didn't flinch at the sight of international contracts. The new community education centers are ready, he reported. All designed to look like corner stores, Miranda finished proudly, where people can learn, grow, and support each other. Later that evening, as we closed the shop, a sleek corporate car pulled up outside. The CEO of one of our largest competitors stepped out, looking uncomfortable in our humble surroundings. Mrs. Margaret, he began formally, our board would like to discuss a merger. No need for formality, Robert, I interrupted. Help us close up, and we can talk. To everyone's surprise, the powerful CEO found himself stocking shelves alongside Miranda, who explained our inventory system with the expertise of someone who'd learned its true value. You see, she told him, each product has a story, each customer has a name, and every transaction builds community. That's the real business model. But your global profits, he protested, are a result of never forgetting our roots, I finished. Miranda, why don't you show him the community account ledger? She brought out the old book, now containing her neat handwriting alongside entries dating back decades. This is how we track who needs help, who's celebrating milestones, who's struggling, she explained. It's not just about money, it's about people. The CEO left looking thoughtful, his merger proposal forgotten in the face of a different kind of success story. That night, as we sat among the quiet shelves, Miranda looked at me with tears in her eyes. I was so wrong, she whispered. I thought being rich meant showing off, having power meant using it. But real power is using what you have to help others, I finished. Now you understand why this worthless store will never be for sale. James wrapped an arm around her. Ready to help with tomorrow's inventory? Actually, she smiled. I was thinking about that empty storefront on the next block. Maybe it's time for a second location. Run the same way, with the same values. I handed her a key. Already bought it. I was waiting for someone to understand the vision before expanding. Miranda clutched the key, understanding the trust being placed in her. I won't let you down. I know, I said softly, because you finally see what I saw in you all along, someone who just needed to learn the true meaning of value. As we locked up for the night, the old bell chimed one last time. Its sound now echoed not just in our store, but in corporate boardrooms across the globe. A reminder that sometimes the biggest lessons come in the smallest packages, and the most valuable things can't be measured in dollars and cents. "Ready for tomorrow?" I asked. Miranda looked at the store, then at the key in her hand. "Ready to learn more," she answered. And in that moment, I knew my grandmother's legacy would live on, not just in our global empire, but in the heart of a once greedy daughter-in-law who had learned to see the true worth of a worthless corner store.